Welcome back to another episode of Dr. J and JP's Vidcast, a series of video podcasts designed to disrupt your current ways of thinking and breathe new perspectives into your life.
So this whole month we've been talking about the Ladder of Inference, and it's simply a tool that can help us identify the thinking steps that can make us jump to conclusions. Think about the rungs of the Ladder of Inference. So far we have covered experience, then those experiences inform our perceptions and our filters. From there, our perceptions inform our beliefs about ourselves, about others, and about the world around us. And from there, our beliefs inform our actions, which is what we're talking about today. I think the best way of going about this rung, Jay, is going to be just diving into an example right off the bat. So, I have an example for you. I'm not really proud of this example, but it's definitely one that we thought would be just easy to understand.
And it'll land with you.
I think so. So in my dating experience, I have had some dating partners where I have this experience of our texting back and forth seems very balanced. I will initiate conversation, this person that I'm dating initiates conversation, and it seems very balanced. But then there comes a time where in my experience, that kind of just falls off, and I feel like I'm always initiating. I perceive and I filter that I must not be kind of in their radar anymore, that we're not moving forward together as a dating partner, so I perceive that. So I believe that I'm no longer kind of like an option for them, or this really isn't moving forward, and I believe that maybe I'm not a priority. So to test that, my action is that I'm not going to text. And I'm going to wait until they text back to see when they actually are going to start engaging.
The game of dating. So another way to climb that same ladder is to really look at, you have that shared experience of balance in texting, turning to imbalance, and you taking the lead, perceiving that, starting to see, I am capable of initiating conversation and taking the lead as the conversational leader in this relationship. I believe that I am of value and that this individual cares about me, and as a result, I'm going to reach out and send a text. So as you see in life, we have lots of choices around how do we ascend the ladder, and what are we going to choose as our filter and what we see, and how does that inform our beliefs, and how does that ultimately inform the actions that we take.
Absolutely. I mean, think of it this way. Think at the very bottom of, possibly your journal. Think about there's one experience, just one. It's often not one experience that could have been, perceived in different ways. Not yet. So you have one experience, but then you have this tree that branches out. And from there, it is multiple different ways that you can filter that experience. Remember back to week 2. From there, each of those filters can actually result in a different belief. You can come up with a multitude of different beliefs depending on which filter you decide to take that experience through. Finally, so many different ways of acting, so many different ways of having one experience and a multitude of choices on how to act.
And we're unpacking this in a way that's very stretch it out. Often this happens, we climb the ladder in seconds, right? You get that text, you perceive, believe, and choose not to respond. That happens almost instantaneously. Yes. This isn't something that's like this long, drawn out, for 20 minutes I'm going to think about.
Right.
What am I perceiving? How is that informing my beliefs about myself? What shall I do? Right, that's often not how it works. We climb that ladder very quickly. So I'm going to give another example that's more of a business-related example. So recently, I had set someone up for a networking opportunity to expand and grow their business and meet other entrepreneurs. And this individual, at the last minute, sent me a notification about 3 hours before the meeting stating that he wasn't going to be able to make it. And then 43 minutes before the meeting, sent the individual who the meeting was with a poorly written cancellation email. And so I perceived that this individual did not prioritize this business opportunity, and then formed the belief that this individual, if they can't prioritize and manage time, clearly can't be successful in business. And so as a resulting action, realized I'm not putting my reputation on the line to help advance this person's career and opportunities. And so that's one way to climb that ladder. I could conversely take that same experience of the individual being offered the networking opportunity canceling it at the last minute with a poorly written email. I could choose to see differently from that same experience. Remember, we've talked a lot about individuals can look at the same experience in a multitude of different ways, and you've been doing that in your journal. So I could take that same experience and say, instead, the perception would be that this individual values their business and must have encountered a challenge in making that networking opportunity happen. And so if I perceived that, the belief that I might have formed is that this individual has a lot of events occurring in their life and is struggling to prioritize. So I could form an entirely different belief that would lead me down a different path of action, where I would say, I'm going to allow this individual time to address their priorities. And so you can see that by climbing the initial ladder, I was really not willing to put my name on the line, not willing to offer future support. Whereas if I climbed an alternative ladder, I was being more empathetic and understanding and providing that individual with time and may end up following up. Now the question becomes, is there a right way?
Right.
Which one should I choose? That's usually when I start texting JP.
Well, and Jay and I have always talked, and I know that we've talked about this in vidcasts, is really, if you can slow down that process of climbing the ladder so quickly and even take 2 minutes, 5 minutes, something to really break it down, sometimes that can be really helpful. And so to help you just, kind of think that through and give yourself an opportunity to see it in action, homework time. So your homework is going to be, take your journal back out, you have your experience, you have the perceptions that you wrote down from week 2, you have the beliefs that could have resulted from taking that experience through that filter. Final step, I want you to take a look at those beliefs and what may have been your resulting action. Brainstorm all the different things that you probably would have done if you have climbed that ladder versus this ladder versus this ladder, and think about, gosh, I could have acted in so many different ways, but as Jay has taught me and we've shared with you in our vidcast, what brings you the most joy? What reflects your best self? We want you to circle the action that reflects your best self in your journal.
With that, go out and shine love and light into the world.
Take care.